let's get into it. First up is we're going to be talking some NBA. We are going to be doing some NBA content as mentioned on YouTube. So we got to start, pulling in some more NBA stuff. I'm a big NBA fan myself. So I'm excited to talk a little bit more basketball, at least on YouTube. So we do have a new hire here in Brooklyn. The Brooklyn Nets hire Jacque Vaughn as the new head coach for the Brooklyn Nets, which, I mean, let's be real. Let's be real about this. I don't know how I don't get what Mandalorian's all about it.
I'm studying to be an archaeologist. I guess you could say that my life is in ruins.
Ooh, there we go. Hi-oh.
Hi-oh.
Love it. Thank you so much, P3, for the bits and the jokes as always. Craig, do you think the Commanders are going to upset the Eagles on Monday Night Football? No shot. So, no, Craig. I don't think so, Craig. I think it's maybe if you're betting with a spread, maybe. But I don't see that happening. Eagles are the best NFC team out there. So, but hey,
Anything's possible. Anything's possible.
anything is possible. You're right. You're right. Don't be a hater like Scotty towards the Nets. Well, I'm not, and I'm just so perplexed by what they're doing. So, in case you didn't know, they fired Steve Nash.
The spread, that's what I put on my In-N-Out burger.
There you go. But hey, get that spread. They fired. Thank you again for the biddies, P3. Love it. Love it. Thanks for the jokes. They fired Steve Nash, and you're thinking, okay, like what's next? What are they going to do? They're going to make a splash, right? Then immediately, I just don't understand what they're doing with this, because they immediately, I don't know if the team did it or who did it, but they leaked that they wanted Ime Udoka, and which is perplexing considering he was gonna be the best head coaching option at the time, knowing what he did with the Boston Celtics. However, you're taking a risk, right? You're taking a risk with that move, knowing all the backlash and the news that is coming out of why he was suspended over in Boston in the first place. So once you have that out there, it's more of like, all right, if we're going to risk putting this out there and leaking that we're interested, and knowing that there's going to be some hesitancy or some things in the news that aren't going to be favorable with this hire, and then you weather the storm, right? KD wanted Steve Nash out, but you didn't fire him at that point. So you kept with Steve Nash, and then you still fire him later on. So you put that off, right? And then you end up going with a completely new coach with Vaughn. And it's like, well, why would you put yourself through leaking the Udoka stuff and weathering the storm with KD wanting Nash out and not firing Nash and all of these things when you weren't even going to go with him in the end anyway? I just feel like the Nets are just so dysfunctional in that respect. Now, I think they won tonight. Let me go double check the score here. I want to say they won. Let me see. The Brooklyn Nets won 112-85 over the New York Knicks. I mean, the New York Knicks about the same 5-6 record. Brooklyn Nets 5-7 now. But it just doesn't make sense to me. I just don't understand what they're trying to do here. Hey, you won the game, GG's Pittsburgh. The new coach is not splash, more of a wash. Yeah, and I think you're right. I think this is a safe hire. It's a safe hire that they didn't want to, make anything just... they've had enough dysfunction, and I think this was their move to try to get out of that whole dysfunctional aspect of what they're perceived as a franchise. Because, I mean, you have the whole Kyrie Irving situation. He's not playing because of what he, has been putting out there on the internet and quotes and things he's promoting. You have the whole KD wanting out and not wanting out, wanting to stay. You got the whole thing with Ben Simmons. Like, there's just so much. The Steve Nash fire. We talked a lot about this stuff, right? This is just, I think, the way that the Brooklyn Nets want to just get out of the dysfunction. And is this going to help in the grand scheme of things? Okay. Okay, here we go. Devil Doc, wait, Pens won? Let's go. I gotta pronounce, when you hear those mispronunciations, that means I gotta pronounce a name of your choice. JK, Arbor. Oh man, let me look at this for a second. Let me look at this. Arbor Hankaj. Hankaj? There's no way. There's zero chance I got that. It's a trap. Is that real?
It's a trap.
Zakaz? What? No way. No, I wouldn't have gotten that. Chris, do you think Mike D'Antoni would have been a viable option? I think Mike D'Antoni's been kind of bouncing around as, like, you know, assistant coaches around the league and stuff. Whoopsie. I just there it is. Mike D'Antoni, I don't know if the big name of Mike D'Antoni, I think that there's, especially with the egos of what you are dealing with on this franchise with the Nets, you have KD, Kyrie, Ben Simmons. That whole mess, a big profile coach just adding to that. One, you got to pay him. Two, I don't know if that would be setting them up for failure or not, because I just think, like, a safe bet like this with Jacque Vaughn, you can kind of ease into it. There's not a lot of high expectations with this, but yet you can there's more upside than anything else with what he can do. I think there's a benefit with this one, knowing that he's not a big name. So, I mean, don't get me wrong, he's not a bad coach. He's on the list of coaches who've coached 200 games. He's the fourth worst ever. So he's not, like, the best coach, but he's not the worst either, I don't think. He's got some experience as a head coach. And I think throwing in a coach like D'Antoni, there's going to be high expectations. And I don't think the Nets are going to live up to those realistic. And there's going to just be more dysfunction, because it's like, well, why aren't they winning games with D'Antoni? So, yeah, I see where you're going, though. I don't think it would be a bad move. I just think they just need some easiness going into this season, the rest of the season, because they already started out kind of rough. So, but yeah, I think the Nets will be better. I feel like they're getting a little bit more on track here with KD kind of buying into things. I still don't think they're going to be a great team. They'll be a team that gets into the playoffs like they did last year as an 8-9 seed in the play-in potentially. So we'll see. I didn't say Jacque. I didn't say no. Now you're just all right. Reckoning. Now you're just putting stuff in my mouth right now. Get out of here. He coached the team USA. He would be fine with those egos. Yeah, I mean, I think there's Team USA, it's kind of a different environment, though, right? Team USA, you know, you get guys playing with each other, like they're bros and everything else, and like you kind of have that. You don't have the same egos when there's like same contracts and the same. I don't know. It's a different environment. So I get what you're saying there too, but. This is NBA regular season. The franchises, what you're getting paid, it's a little bit different. But I didn't put stuff in your mouth. That was what. Oh, JK said. Oh, okay. Now you're just putting stuff in. Okay, there you go. Okay, I get that. All right, we're just all putting stuff in each other's mouths. What?
Bruh.
What? Do you think if the Nets were not a mess, they could contend for an NBA? Yeah. No, I think they have pieces. They're just, I think if Kyrie was bought in, because he's not bought in. I don't think basketball is Kyrie's priority. He's off doing the post and the political stuff. He's doing the sage on the side of the court. He's got his things that he's advocating for. I don't know if NBA basketball is what Kyrie's priority is. If it was, I think that it would be something that would make them contenders. They don't play defense though. They're bottom 5 to 10 in various categories in defense. So they're not playing defense, which is why, Steve Nash got fired. So, they're struggling there. But I think they need more role players. I don't think they have depth. I think they brought in a lot of guys and they built this roster really poorly. So they don't have a lot to fall back on after their studs. And I think KD and Kyrie could only take you so far. You're not going to get a lot from Ben Simmons, knowing he's kind of what is he? If he's going to play, if he's in the right headspace. When they had the pieces, they could not beat the Bucks. Yeah, and I mean, the Bucks are just they're very well run as well. So there you go. We'll see what this happens for the Brooklyn Nets and how this changes their. I mean, they're already 1-0 under the new head coach. So if they can get a nice little run going, maybe this is what saves their season. I still, again, don't see them getting higher than a 6 seed in the East. I mean, that's the absolute ceiling.